Dear Katie Kreiner, I am greeting you in our framework of our project Sketch at Subculture. I am prepared some questions for you, and my first question: what factors attract you to skiing as one of the types of subculture?
Ah, well, honestly, like I feel like I grew up in a family that was our culture. Like we were a skiing family. My father, it's a long story, but I keep it short in that my father, he helped to develop the ski hill in my hometown in Northern Ontario in Canada, so up in the north. It was a small hill, not a big mountain. He just did it as a hobby. His profession was a medical doctor, but um, he was a hard worker and he wanted to help develop the ski hill. So our family uh, like would put up, would cut he would cut the trees and we would move the trees to the side, and we'd help him put up the lifts, and we were very involved in the development of the ski hill. So that's just what our family did. We went to the ski hill. So um, it was almost like we were not put into other sports as much because that's what we were doing. We were skiing. So, but I really believe like that's just what I know now. Like I think that kids that like are good musicians or something, they grow up in a culture of a family that they're surrounded by music, right? Or we were surrounded by skiing and being outdoors, and so one thing just led to another. If you got into the racing program, it was more challenging, and then it would allow you to travel to other places to go skiing and to see the world, so we got to travel, uh, and it was, so that's kind of my, and I had to know, I was the youngest of 6 children, and I'm just trying to keep up with everybody else, and that was our little, we were our own little subculture in a way.
Yeah. In the book Winning After Winning, the psychology of ongoing excellence, which you co-wrote with Terry Orlik, yeah?
Right.
You're right. Approximately one third of these athletes coped well with the additional demands and continued to win. What
Mhm.
kind of obstacles are we talking about?
Um, well, the things like the expectation to repeat that performance, so whether it was now that you were at the top in the world, you expected yourself to do that again, and you really felt that other people were expecting you to do that, maybe like to your detriment, because the focus that you had when you performed your best was not on the results so much as just the process of what you were doing right in front of you. So um, but the expectations and the demands to do, media interviews and to speak here and to do this and to do that, suddenly now you had way more demands on your time that you didn't have before. So that was something new and different and took time and was tiring. um, so yeah, so a third of the people never did get back on top because of that. Yeah.
My next question, yeah, would be what advice would you give to the help athletes cope?
Yeah, I totally am convinced that in the power of like meditation, mindfulness, just developing a practice of this to allow not just athletes, but anyone and everyone to cope better in life, and I personally find that that is sort of the number one tool that I find the most helpful is really having a consistent practice of mindfulness and being in tune with yourself and who you are, and not being as affected by what's going on around you. Yeah.
Uh, could you describe the research of your colleague Terry Orlik? Yeah, what conclusions and discoveries did he make regarding various sports? actually maybe subcultures, as you say.
Yeah, Terry's focus was, he was very big on focus, right? Focus control, and where you put your attention, and the visualization, the self-talk. These were more the teachings that I received from Terry along those lines. I know he got more into like positive living skills, but that was later after I was studying with him. So, but yeah, and before there, I was, of course, he was cooperative games, and has always been very much for children as well, you know, not just elite sport, but for, yeah, the children.
Yeah. What about some subculture in your place?
Yeah, well, I mean, our oldest son was very much involved in the skateboard culture. He was a skateboarder. So he was really not into organized sport at all. He wanted to only do skateboard and snowboarding on the mountain and do his own thing, you know? So that was sort of my real first taste of a counterculture type, you know, activity. And so I was learning as I was following him around and what he was doing. And so, yeah, but you know, it was very interesting just to learn more about that. And then of course the whole spin-off of the photography that comes with that, the videography, the music and type of music they listen to, just the way they talk, the way they dress, like it's got to be the right look, right? And so it was definitely interesting, and that's very fun to be doing that as a master's. And we actually got to compete in the World Championships and Pan American Games last 2 years. So we were in Chile and in Peru for that, and yeah, so it's very exciting to be back doing something that gives me adrenaline. I guess adrenaline was what I was missing, you know, in my life. You know, I've been a mother and raising 3 children, and just sort of something was missing. And so and I grew up water skiing in the summers. We had a cottage in Northern Ontario. So we were always water skiing, but we were not competitive. We did it for fun. And my husband, he also enjoys water skiing. So we started to do this together, and our kids love it. So it's a great family sport, but it's really, it's a small community really of people that do this at this level in our age group and whatever. But it's just very exhilarating, really, you know. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it gives you a good excuse to stay in shape, you know, to stay in the gym and stuff.
What about skills, professional skills? I mean, actually, Olympic sports is a very big in the future time of a part.
Yeah.
How the professional skills influence on your life? Actually, how it improve maybe?
Because of being an Olympic athlete?
Yeah.
You mean? How has that made my life better?
Yes, yes. Because it's
Yeah.
very hard. It's very hard to work, really. I know
Yeah,
some.
it is. It's very, you know, demanding, and like the training is very a lot of training and travel, and like I said, and it's a lot of hard work, you know. Like people probably don't realize how much conditioning training that ski racers do, but you know, they lift very heavy weights, they run, we do a lot of sprinting, agility exercises, and it's part of the regular daily routine. Like ski racing isn't enough to keep you in good enough shape, so you have to do this after you've been skiing all day as well. More maintenance, not as building, but on, like you can't, I don't think you can really do this if you don't love it, you know, like there's got to be a passion for it, you know. So So you have to feel it in your belly, and it drives you, you know. It's like you cannot not do this. So and for me, that really started when I was like 10 years old. And my dad, he had been the doctor for the national ski team. He was in Chile for the World Championships, and then the Olympics in Grenoble, France in 1968. And that's when our Canadian Nancy Green, she won the gold. She won a gold and silver medal there. And I just remember thinking as a 10-year-old, because my dad would just come home and just very matter of fact tell us stories of being with the team and Nancy and everybody. And I just thought, you know what, that's what I want to do one day, you know, stand on the Olympic podium to hear our national anthem. And so I didn't know at 10 years old if I was capable of doing that or anything, what it took even or whatever. But that planted a seed inside me that I was just going to take one step at a time, you know, one small step at a time. Yeah.
How many times how many hours, I mean, every day you was training?
Yeah. Well, the ski training, like, I mean, it's not like we're out all day because we do it every day. So we would like half a day type of thing, you know, depending on what's going on. But if it's a training time, where say we leave Canada, we go to Europe for 2 weeks, then we're going to train all day for 2 weeks, you know, type of thing. Then we would come home and then we would do our conditioning at home, just dry land training, and then just get ready to go back skiing again. A lot of it, you know, visualizing, that sort of thing, mental training. Our type of training, it tends to be more intense and shorter. So we would more like run shorter distance, but run as hard as we could, sort of, you know, 2 miles. You know, certain times of the year we might go for hour-long runs, and then other times we would do just like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, but as fast as you could. Then we would do a lot of interval training, like sprinting, because skiing is really, our races are only like 1.5 minutes long to 2 minutes. The men maybe 2 minutes, you know. So you needed to build a base, and then you needed to make it more specific to your sport. So a lot of exercises that try to mimic skiing as well, jumping and developing power, this kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Could you advise for youngest people, for students who want to be some maybe Olympic champions, or who would be skiing on the sky?
Yeah, well, I think I was lucky that the skiing was a good sport for me. But I think when kids are little, I think it's important to try a lot of different sport and find out what you really like and what you're good at and what your body is the right size for and everything. And then from there you can choose so I think that parents need to let their kids be more exposed to more opportunities, and then just support the kids in what they choose, you know, not choose for them. Because if the kid doesn't like it, they're not going to go anywhere, right? They're going to go so far.
Which few books you could recommend to read first?
Oh, I'm a little out of touch right now, but I mean, of course, I would recommend all of Terry Orlik's books, you know, and yeah. So, and I find that his writing is so user friendly, you know, it's easy to understand and to apply. So he's one of the most applied sports psychologists, meaning he can really connect well with the athletes at their level. And it's not too academic, you know.
I will say thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I will send you a link